The art of healing the sick and injured fellow human being began at the dawn of time. Traditional medicine, unique to each culture, developed and evolved as civilization flourished. Modern medicine, in its present recognizable form, began in the 19th century in Europe and America. In the early days, practically all doctors were general practitioners. The 1950s saw the emergence of major specialties of medicine, which defined training programs and qualifying examinations. The age of specialization brought forth a new kind of generalist. Unlike the old, undifferentiated bulk of the profession, defined by a lack of specialized training, a new breed of generalist family physicians emerged with a well-differentiated role and a defined set of skills. Across the world, the realization came that a different kind of doctor was needed. A doctor who is specially trained to provide continuing, personal, and comprehensive care to the patient as a whole person. From the 1950s to the early 60s, new colleges and academies were formed all over the world to train doctors to fulfill this role. By the late 1960s, the winds of change had reached Singapore. Many realized that there was an urgent need for an academic organization that would improve the standard of primary care. A group of like-minded and idealistic physician leaders were drawn together by a common cause of creating such an institution. Lord John Hunt of Forley was one of the founder members of the Royal College of General Practitioners in the UK. In 1968, he stopped over in Singapore on his way to visit the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners. Doctors in Singapore took the opportunity to learn from him. Dr. Koh Eng Keng, past president of the college, remembers him.
Throughout the night, he spent about 2-3 hours in the night writing this article. He was staying in Goodwood Park Hotel. Because I asked him to write this article. Because the college was not yet formed. Of why we needed an academic body for the GPs in Singapore. I was editor. So I can print anything I like. You see? So John Hunt wrote.
Among the group of doctors who were advocating the establishment of a college was Dr. Wong Heck Sing. In 1969, he visited Australia.
January 1969, when I went down to Australia to look for schools for my children. And I was staying with my brother, who immigrated to Australia in the 50s. And he had a neighbor, a GP, called Dr. Jeeves, Richard Jeeves, who later became the chief censor of the Australian College and later became examiner for our college. So he had just taken his FRACGP examinations. No, that time it was called MRACGP. And he was very excited about it. And the college, of course, was founded several years before that. It's still a young college, and he was very keen that all GPs should be, should be upgraded and all that, and keep out the CME. So we had a chat over the fence. Then he invited me over, said, "Why don't you come to the house and I'll show you all the question papers they asked me." And I saw all the question papers. They're very thorough, So he said, "Would you like to go down to the college and meet my council members?" I said, "Yes." Because before I went, I had a word with Colin Marcus, who was at the time very prominent with the Society of Private Practice. And Colin Marcus said, we can't form any college until we get a charter from the government. So this was the same question I posed to the council of the Australian College. I said, how do you form your college? We just formed a college. We had a meeting of like-minded people, and we all decided that we should form a college. I said, don't you have a charter? I said, no, we can't wait for a charter to come. The charter will come to you later on. So, okay, I went back, Colin Marcus was very excited about it. And Colin Marcus, I think, was at that time holding quite a senior position in the Society of Private Practice. And at the same time, also a council member of the SMA. So he said, look, you went down to Australia for a fact-finding mission. Why don't you give the SMA a talk about what you found, you see? So somewhere in 1969, they arranged for a forum to be held on the founding of the desirability of a founding of a College of General Practitioners in Singapore, along the lines of the Australian College or the British College. So I was the first speaker. So I spoke of what I found and all that, and no charter required and all that sort of thing. And of course, I think he spoke. Who was that? Charles Toh also spoke. And the third person spoke, I don't know, was it Colin Marcus or one of the other chaps also spoke. And so now I come here. In November 1970, the Society of Private Practice took the initiative of forming a pro tem committee to found the College of GPs. And that's where I came in.
At that time, one of the most prominent and respected general practitioners in Singapore was Dr. B.R. Srinivasan. Dr. Srinivasan was also known for his work in academia. He was the first Vice-Chancellor of the University of Malaya in Singapore. The Pro Tem Committee wrote to Dr. Srinivasan, inviting him to be the founding president of this unknown and untested organization. He took up the challenge without hesitation. On 29th March 1971, the inaugural meeting of the college took place at the Alumni Medical Centre, and the meeting appointed the first council of the college. In the early days, the college had to struggle to build everything from scratch. Dr. Wong Heck Sing recalls those difficult times.
When we founded our college, I wrote to the British College asking for help, asking for external exams and all that. They were not interested. You see, Koh Eng Keng had got ties with the UK College, and Lord Hunt, there was a time something Hunt.
Fowley.
Lord Hunt Fowley. He was then a knight, and he very, offhandedly asked me, go east, look to Australia, and we are more or less, we're too busy. So I went to Australia, and Australia did a lot of things for us. You see, Australia, first of all, agreed to send the external examiners to us. And then secondly, Australia offered to train our examiners. So we sent two persons to training. One was Wong Kam Hoon, the other was James Chang. So they both went to Australia for training, to become examiners, how to examine our candidates. And Australia, at their own expense, sent the first two examiners. One was Dick Jeeves and the other was Wes Fab as the external examiner. Later on, they sent other people, And there again, they pay for everything themselves. And not only that, Australia said that since we send external examiners, if you pass your membership examination, we recognize your diploma as equivalent to ours.
That was in
MCGP, the same as MRCGP. That was before the fellowship was instituted. So on that account, I went to see Perm Second. I said, look, why did you recognize the Singapore diploma as a registrable diploma? And he said, no, on what grounds? I said, on the grounds that, we got external examiners, we've got the Australian College has recognized our diploma to be of equivalent standard. And so he viewed all that, of course he asked for proof and all that. He very generously agreed that he would recognize our diploma, MCGP. So the MCGP was the first private diploma recognized by the Singapore Medical Council.
At the 9th Wonka Conference in New Orleans, USA, the college won the bid to host the 10th Wonka World Conference in Singapore. It was a tall order for a young college in a small country.
Secretariat that the meeting that was supposed to be organized by the Philippine Academy for 1983 would not materialize because the Philippine Academy withdrew their bid. Although they were awarded 3 years before the conference, they said they couldn't do it, so they withdrew it. And the Secretariat, Wonka Secretariat, wanted to know whether any college would be prepared, in a way brave enough to do it in 3 years, because normally the preparation time is 6 years. So at that time, Wong Heck Seng was president of the college, and Kim Leong was secretary. Oh no, sorry, Victor was. And Heck Seng was actually one of the council members, because I knew Heck Seng was rather apprehensive about the college taking on such a big task. And we sat down and discussed, Kim Leong, Paul, myself, Muti. I would say the young Turks at that time in the college sat down and thought, shall we do it? So we finally decided, let's give it a try. So when we proposed to council, college council at that time, there were a bit of a warning, in fact, particularly from Heck Seng, to say, think again, because it's such a big task and so on. But we felt, well, we are young, we are energetic, why don't we give it a try? So we then said, okay, we'll go ahead. Kim Leong wrote to the Secretariat to say we are prepared to bid, and they invited us to New Orleans to bid for it, because there may be other colleges also bidding for that conference, 83 conference. So we decided we'll go. So we have first approached Singapore Airlines for some sponsorship tickets. Singapore Airlines not very friendly at that time. In fact, didn't give us very good terms. So we went to Pan American, and Pan American actually gave us the tickets to go. In fact, they gave us 2 first-class tickets. Paul Chan and myself flew first class. That's the only time I flew first class. And we went to New Orleans to bid.
Tried to get organizing people, professional people to run.
PCOs.
But we found that we can't do it because it's too expensive.
PCOs.
So 7 of us with basically only 2 girls. 2 secretaries, and we ran the whole conference. And the British, when they attended our conference, they sent a team of professional organizing bodies to come here, and they were surprised because at the time we were not here. We were at the alumni, the old alumni building,
torn down.
It was only 2 rooms only, and they were surprised that the whole organization of a world conference came from just 2 rooms and 7 of us with 2 girls.
And everybody knew that they were working not for themselves, they were working for a college, and that the success of the conference was something which the college needed very importantly to put itself into a higher profile.
I think the other thing we noticed was when we went to America for the bidding, these Australians, Canadian, American, Europeans, they are like one close clique, And the way they make disparaging remarks about whether Asians can organize this kind of highbrow conferences make us feel very angry, So I think adding another point to what the chairman had just now said, Alfred, I think as Singaporeans, we are always very proud of our country, our heritage, and we want to make absolutely sure that we don't fail our country, I think that was another point that really drove us to our best. And I think that was important.
Probably that was the biggest X factor because it was a national effort. This was a red dot. I think at that time we were really trying to put it up as something that is memorable.
This happened in Mandarin Hotel, and my good friend Goli Gan was in charge of publishing the proceedings. Now up to today, after the meeting in Dublin, despite every organizing committee's promise that they would produce the proceedings at the conference, the Singapore conference in '83 was the only Wonka conference that produced the whole proceedings at the end of the conference. At the end of the conference, every delegate could walk away with a full proceeding of the conference. Never done before and never done since.
Really?
Yes.
Collect your certificate and collect your proceedings.
Oh,
So my good friend, the credit of Goli Gan that it was possible. Now,
On 11th December 1986, a joint memorandum on the academic recognition of the discipline of family medicine in the National University of Singapore was submitted by the college and the Department of Social Medicine and Public Health of the university. The submission argued for the case of setting up an academic department of family medicine at the university.
In the undergraduate curriculum, and to mark that entry, we had a date of Department of Social Medicine and Public Health changed to Department of Community, Occupation and Medicine. So the official date, I can still remember, is 13th of February 1987. That family medicine became a discipline in the undergraduate program.
May I ask, was it a coin the term?
Cough medicine. I must ask you about that.
Well, Professor Ulmai was very kind. He was about to retire from the department. He asked the college if we could give a name to this department. So we all sat down and got together. So collectively, we suggested this name, Community, Occupational and Family Medicine. And that was accepted by the university senate. So that was really a plus for the college.
So it came from within the college?
Within the college, it was accepted. Yes. And now it's going to grow. I mean, we got more staff. Li Gan was the first to go in lecture, and now it's associate professor. And we have how many?
Well, we have 2 adjuncts, senior lecturers, and then 2 full-time lecturers.
So it's growing. We hope that one day we'll have a full department of family.
The standalone.
Standalone. Yes. We hope, as in some universities overseas.
The college started off with a makeshift office in the old Medical Alumni Centre at College Road. On 19th January 1975, the office was eventually renovated and officially opened by our late patron and President of Singapore, Dr. Benjamin Sheares. The land on which the old Medical Alumni Centre was situated was eventually acquired for construction of the Ayer Rajah Expressway. The former Minister of Health, Mr. Howe Yun Chong, recognised the important work that the college was doing. When the college lost its office at the old Medical Alumni Centre, he very generously invited the college and the Academy of Medicine to move its offices to the newly restored College of Medicine building at a nominal rent. Our present premises were officially opened by Mr. Howe Yun Chong on 15th August 1987. The decade of the 1990s was a time of rapid academic development. The MCGP evolved into the Masters of Medicine, Family Medicine. The fellowship, which is the highest academic honour given by the college, is now awarded to those doctors who successfully complete a vigorous 2-year assessment programme. The Graduate Diploma in Family Medicine, which is geared to train large numbers of family doctors, was launched in the year 2000. Raising the standard of family medicine will lead to improved healthcare for the people of Singapore. The college was formed for this purpose and will continue to strive for excellence in family medicine. We are fortunate to have many capable leaders and dedicated members. The achievements that the college have made in the past 30 years is a tribute to our founders and the members who worked selflessly to improve family medicine in Singapore. Members of the College of Family Physicians Singapore, we salute you.